on Grayton Road. It's a beautiful spot. If you know where Peaks Pike is, it's a little valley, kind of an east-facing bowl, redwoods behind it, you know, little terraces, completely dry farm. There's no irrigation whatsoever. The stuff in the valley below needs overhead because it frosts sometimes, but on the hillside it never frosts. And these vines are, you know, literally this big around, but the clusters are the size of your fist. So one of the things you get, I think, out of Rude, and I remember drinking Cortals with Rich in the old days, right? When you taste great white wines, and you can decide whether you think it's great or not, but like, you know, my icons in the world, whether it's Cortal Charlemagne or Polini Montrachet, there's a phenolic element. All great white wines are Gruners. You know, there's a little bit of grip to them, a little bit of tannin to them. And if you look at the vines and the berries on it at Rude, partially maybe because they're so old, partially because they're dry farm, but they're really thick, chewy skins. And there's definitely, to me, a little bit of grip that really makes this wine go a long time. It's also 19 months in barrel, which 18 to 20 months depending on the year, which for California Chardonnay is really a long time. But it's still all about the fruit. So it's not like I'm manipulating the winemaking to make it taste a certain way. It's that this particular fruit just loves that extra time because it's such a mean son of a gun after 11 months like most California Chardonnays.
So new old oak, what?
Both. The way we do all of our single vineyards, so when you get to the Rude, everything's barrel fermented. So today we're just topping up. Everybody knows how you barrel ferment wines, right? You just settle the juice, you go to barrel. We do a little over half of it indigenous. Indigenous just means you let it go and pray that it doesn't get weird. Then we do the other half with 2 different inoculated yeasts, so when the indigenous gets stuck, you can put some of the other stuff in. So you have all these different fermentation vessels, essentially. You let them go dry, meaning, you know, all the sugar gone. I don't like any sugar left in Chardonnay. Sometimes it doesn't like to accommodate, so you have to coax it a little bit. We have the Rude Indigenous is out in the sun today, and we can all each can sit on a barrel, and maybe that'll help. The old vines are actually pretty low nutrient, and you can add nutrient, but it's not the same as it being there to begin with. So in any case, so we have all these different fermentation vessels, essentially. So we'll have 35 Rude barrels to begin with. Sometime in anywhere between March and May, depending on how they taste and what my mood is and whether I get around to it, we'll make the Rude single vineyard blend. And only half to 2/3 of those original barrels will make the blend. So in great years, like 09, all of the indigenous makes the blend. In more difficult years, like 08, which turned out great, the indigenous sucked because it never went dry. So you're taking a little bit more risk. And so what we'll generally do is start the fermentation in far fewer new barrels than when we pull it out, make the blend, and then go back to barrel again. So we always do it with the lees, and the lees are just the settled yeast, right? All the dead shit on the bottom of the barrel. We'll stir the barrel really well, make the blend, get an idea. We liked Taranso that year. We like it now. I've been making this wine since 1997. So it takes a long time to get an idea of what spices you like in that particular product. So for Rude, we'll start out maybe 30% new wood, 40% new wood, come out, make the blend, and then go back into 60 or 70% wood that's been used once. And the difference between wood that's been used once and brand new wood is monumental, because brand new wood, a lot of your flavor in wood extraction are phenolic molecules. Phenolic molecules bind to proteins. So when you do a fermentation, yeast fermentation in a barrel, there's 200 million cells per milliliter, and it's given if it's all polypeptides and proteins, and they bind and absorb the tannins from the barrel. So then when you pull it out, the flavor left is less harsh, less smoky, more caramel and ginger and things like that. So when I smell this wine, we use a barrel called Romand Trancé, and you get this like ginger element to it. There's a Siggy-Moreau, Chardonnay Montrachet barrel, which very expensive barrels. And for me, wood is about that kind of little extra lift. If you pick it out as a lot of new wood, I've screwed up, which happens all the time, obviously. But I think that's one of the things. How much would you say the wood shows in the Rude? Is it obvious today?
Yeah. It's spicy.
What's that?
It's spicy.
Yeah, it's spicy. Right. If you don't pick it out as separate, but you pick it out as part of the wine, that's what I'm going for.